Okay, welcome out to our market recap video here today. This is Wednesday, 6/17 with Tim Justice, Coach T, here from TackleTrading.com. Let's go through the market together. Let's talk about what happened. Big day from the Fed. Big day, in the markets in general. The dollar had a quite a precipitous sell-off there right when the action happened, but then it turned, had some volatility, whipsawed around. We'll go look at the chart on that here in just a minute. Let's start with the futures charts. We'll do it in the Trade Center here at Tackle Trading. Kind of a quick one-stop shop for everything you're going to need when you're trading. S&P 500. So the Fed came out and they essentially said, we don't think the economic data is going to be as good as we thought through the rest of 2015. And so we're probably not going to raise interest rates. We're not going to raise interest rates right now. We may not raise them until September. And even in September, we're reserving the right to not raise them then. Okay, they've kind of been saying this for a while, of course. Since 2009, they've been saying, we're going to keep interest rates down. And they've been talking about raising them this year. They've been hinting at it, but the economic data is just not coming through strong enough. The S&P 500, well, it rallied. Okay, because if the Fed doesn't raise interest rates, that keeps free money in the system. Okay, rallied, little retracement, rally again. From the lows, it was up nearly 18 points on the S&P at one point from the very low point, but then it sold off at the end of the day. Okay, brought it back 10 points. All in all, flat for the day. Not a lot going on there. If we look at a daily chart, you'll see the candlestick was kind of a dud. Red spinning doji candlestick, nothing really there, just kind of stuck in the range. NASDAQ, same thing. Market stock prices didn't do much. Story of the year for 2015, stocks don't do anything, but commodities and currencies do. I mean, that's what we've been seeing now for a long time. Russell 2000, pressing resistance, failed to break out on the news. Volatility index. Yeah, just kind of flat here at 1560, 1555. It's at the higher end of that range. Credit in the market's a little bit better than it's been for a couple weeks, but still relatively low, very low historically. Let's look at energy, crude oil. Crude oil, $59.72. It was up big. We'll go into this one on a 5-minute chart. We'll talk about this one. I'm going to go through this more in the commodity report tomorrow night that comes out on Thursdays for Pro members at Tackle Trading, where we go through every commodity in detail. Crude oil, when the inventories came out this morning, which they do every Wednesday, sold off big time. It was up at $61. It had a really good morning, after hours, overnight thing going on. It was up $1, and then boom, dropped $2. From 61 down to 59, $2 move on a $60 stock is 3.5%. $60 commodity, I should say. Little bounce, found support. Fed meeting came out because of what happened with the dollar selling. Crude oil rallied. Came back up about $1, ended up near the flat line from where it was at yesterday. It's about 60 yesterday. We're at 59.72 right now. So a lot of action intraday. That's something to take note of, because the rally was due to the dollar, not because of the inventories. Crude specific news was pressure. Okay, I put pressure in there. Going back to the daily chart, what we're going to see is we're going to see a range. We're going to see a range, let's get this thing up, that's been developing now for a couple months as crude oil has failed to continue that trend that it had picked up on, and now it's kind of just sideways and neutral. Okay, so if you're trading that, and if you're trading crude oil, keep an eye on that range. A breakout one way or the other would be very, very significant. All right, let's look at the metals market. Gold prices, look at these on a daily chart. Little bump up in gold and silver today. They found support $11.80 and $16. I've been talking about silver. I think this is a good support zone. It's going to develop here around the 16 mark. Platinum was still down, copper still down, palladium still down. None of them really rallied off of the news, but gold and silver had a little uptick. Generally, when you see the Fed talking about weak economic data, where's money going to go? Precious metals is usually an open candidate for that. Let's look at the currency markets. Last chart. The U.S. dollar. All right. Yeah, sold. 95 was a key support zone. It broke down on that. Not a huge move, but a significant move. One enough to take note of. The thing that was most interesting was the chewed up volatility that first 5 minutes. News-based trading has become very risky because of that in the short term, because of the quants and the algorithmic-based traders that are chewing through all the order forms. A lot of those of you who trade the news, what you may want to do is wait for the news to happen, then react to it and trade with the trend as it's developed about 5 minutes after the news event. You know, you're going to miss a few pips, you're going to miss a little bit of a range, but you won't become subject to really, really poor fills. You know, because this thing went up and took out the resistance and then turned right back around and then sold off all day. You know, and that affected every currency pair. There's no question about it. Stuck down here at 94.50 now. We're now moving into the overnight session, so you know, expect it to kind of slow down overnight until tomorrow. Okay, that has been our market update. Couple of quick looks at the next couple of days from an economic calendar perspective. Tomorrow, you've got jobless claims, the consumer price index, the Philly Fed business outlook. So there will be quite a bit of data tomorrow. 8:30 a.m. East, 10 a.m. East. Both those times could create some volatility. Friday, you got some speeches, but you've got a quadruple witching event, a lot of expiration. Speaking of that, if you are a Clubhouse member, get in there and be active. You know, be a part of the conversation at the Clubhouse. If you have questions, ask the group, that kind of thing. Forex, Vega, commodities, options, Delta. Check the calendar. I keep this updated every week on what events we're doing at Tackle Trading so that you know what you can attend live, and be a part of that Clubhouse. It's there for a reason. Okay, guys, this has been Coach T from TackleTrading.com. There I am holding that fish right there and getting the game.
Get off the sidelines and take control of your financial future at www.tackletrading.com. Get in the game.